In 1930, Hermann Fendt began developing small, efficient tractors suited for Europe's compact, rugged farms. He didn't know it yet, but he was laying the first brick in a quiet rebellion, one that, decades later, would topple the most iconic name in agricultural machinery, John Deere. The Fendt story begins in Bavaria, in the years before World War II, in the small town of Marktoberdorf, where Hermann Fendt Sr. ran a modest blacksmith shop. But it was his son, Hermann Jr., who would transform this humble operation into a global force. In 1930, at just 25 years old, Hermann Jr. looked at the massive, fuel-hungry tractors dominating European fields and saw an opportunity that everyone else had missed. European farms weren't the sprawling thousand-acre operations of the American Midwest. They were smaller, more precise, requiring machines that could navigate tight spaces while delivering maximum efficiency. The American approach of bigger is better simply didn't work, so Hermann Jr. did what German engineers do best. He started from scratch and built something better. Fendt's first production tractor, the Dieselross F9, appeared in 1932, followed by the improved 12-horsepower F12 around 1935. This compact tractor, weighing a little over a ton, was designed to replace a team of horses on small European fields. Its high-torque diesel and frugal fuel use made far more sense where fuel was expensive and land was split into dozens of small plots. From the very first Dieselross, fuel efficiency wasn't a footnote, it was Fendt's DNA. But the real genius wasn't in what the F12 could do, it was in what Hermann Jr. refused to compromise on. Every component was engineered to last decades, not years. The simple, rugged drivetrain turned a compact diesel tractor into a true workhorse for European farms. This wasn't just a tractor, it was a statement that German engineering could outperform American mass production. The F12's success came from innovations that seemed almost obsessive in their attention to detail. The engine and cooling system were tuned to squeeze maximum work from every drop of fuel while holding a steady operating temperature in changing conditions. Even the seat was engineered with springs and dampening that reduced operator fatigue during long working days. By 1938, Fendt had produced several thousand tractors, establishing a reputation for small, durable machines that would survive even the devastation of World War II. Post-war Germany's economic and material shortages forced Fendt to rebuild operations from limited resources. Hermann Jr. didn't see defeat. He saw an opportunity to rebuild with even higher standards. The post-war Fendt factory that emerged was designed around one principle. Every machine that left the building had to be better than anything the competition could produce. The 1950s brought the Farmer Series, tractors that introduced major drivetrain refinements that many competitors would not match for years. Fendt was among the first to popularize synchronized, multi-speed transmissions across mid-range models in Europe. At the time, many competitors still relied on basic gear systems, while Fendt tractors featured synchronized transmissions that shifted as smoothly as luxury automobiles. Fendt's Farmer 2, launched in 1958, helped pioneer practical front-wheel assist tractors for European farms, years before the feature became common globally. The system used a transfer case with differential locks that provided superior traction and fuel efficiency advantages that wouldn't appear on many tractors until the 70s. European farmers noticed immediately. By the 60s, Fendt had become one of Germany's leading tractor brands, regularly appearing near the top of tractor registration lists. As Fendt's reputation spread, even French farmers, traditionally loyal to domestic brands, began importing them in increasing numbers. The machines simply worked better, lasted longer, and used less fuel than anything else available. Word spread through farming communities like wildfire. If you wanted the best tractor money could buy, you bought a Fendt. What separated Fendt from every other tractor manufacturer wasn't marketing or pricing. It was an almost pathological obsession with engineering perfection. While competitors focused on quarterly sales targets, Fendt engineers spent years developing technologies that wouldn't reach the market for a decade. This long-term thinking created innovations that fundamentally changed how tractors operated. Because Fendt tractors lasted longer and required less maintenance, farmers were willing to pay premium prices. Higher margins funded more research and development, which led to even better machines. The breakthrough came in the mid-90s with the introduction of the Vario transmission, first unveiled in 1995 and rolled out into full production in the years that followed, a system that redefined expectations for seamless, fuel-efficient tractor drivetrains. Traditional tractors used stepped gearboxes. You shifted from gear to gear with gaps in power that wasted fuel. Vario replaced that with a continuously variable drive that blended a mechanical path and a hydrostatic path. An electronic brain constantly adjusted the power split between them, so ground speed could slide from a crawl to road speed while the engine stayed near its most efficient RPM. But Vario wasn't just about smooth operation, it was about fuel efficiency that bordered on the impossible. Traditional tractors operated at fixed engine speeds, forcing the engine to work inefficiently most of the time. Vario allowed the engine to run at its optimal RPM regardless of ground speed, reducing fuel consumption by as much as 25% under optimal conditions compared to conventional transmissions. For farmers operating on thin margins, this wasn't just an improvement, it was a revolution. The development of Vario required Fendt to essentially reinvent tractor engineering from the ground up. The company invested over 100 million Deutsche Marks in research and development, creating new manufacturing processes and quality control systems that exceeded automotive industry standards. Each production batch underwent extensive endurance testing to ensure reliability, a quality control process that competitors considered economically impossible. Fendt was among the early adopters of fully electronic engine control in agricultural tractors. While competitors were still using mechanical fuel systems, Fendt tractors featured computer-controlled engines that delivered maximum power with minimum emissions. The hydraulic systems on Fendt tractors set new standards for precision and reliability. The company developed closed-center hydraulic circuits that eliminated the constant power drain of traditional systems, improving fuel efficiency while providing more precise implement control. Fendt's hydraulic pumps were manufactured to tolerances measured in microns, ensuring consistent performance over tens of thousands of operating hours. The company's approach to cab design reflected the same obsessive attention to detail. Cab noise levels were reduced to around 70 decibels, among the quietest in its class. The suspension system used pneumatic dampers that automatically adjusted to operator weight and field conditions. Climate control systems maintained precise temperature and humidity levels while filtering air through multi-stage filtration systems. Inside Fendt's Marktoberdorf facility, major components were engineered for a 10,000-hour service life, far beyond typical expectations, and punished in endurance rigs until engineers were confident they'd survive in the field. Engineers were given unlimited time and resources to solve problems, with the understanding that good enough wasn't good enough. This engineering obsession created a feedback loop that accelerated innovation. Fendt invested roughly 5 to 6% of revenue in R&D, well above the industry average, while maintaining profit margins that made competitors envious. While John Deere dominated headlines with aggressive marketing campaigns and massive trade show displays, Fendt was quietly conquering Europe one farm at a time. The company's strategy was precisely planned: identify the most demanding farmers, build machines that exceeded their expectations, and let word of mouth do the rest. In Germany, Fendt's home market, the transformation was dramatic. By 2000, Fendt led the German high-horsepower segment with roughly one-third of that niche market, a dominance built not on price competition, but on technological superiority. German farmers, known for their exacting standards and willingness to pay for quality, became Fendt evangelists. The sight of green and red Fendt tractors became as common in Bavarian fields as BMW sedans on the Autobahn. The French market proved even more telling. France had strong domestic tractor manufacturers and farmers with deep loyalty to local brands. Yet by 2005, Fendt held over 10% of the French market, a notable accomplishment in a competitive market. French farmers discovered that Fendt tractors could work longer hours with less fuel, completing field operations with a precision that traditional tractors couldn't match. The Vario transmission became Fendt's secret weapon in this European expansion. Farmers who test drove Vario-equipped tractors rarely bought anything else. The seamless power delivery and fuel efficiency were immediately apparent, but the long-term benefits became clear over months of operation. Fendt tractors completed fieldwork faster while using less fuel, allowing farmers to reduce operating costs while increasing productivity. French vineyard operators became particularly devoted to Fendt machines. The precise speed control offered by Vario transmissions was perfect for specialized operations like spraying, where maintaining exact ground speeds was critical for proper chemical application. Fendt's compact designs could navigate narrow vineyard rows without damaging vines, while the superior hydraulic systems provided the precise implement control needed for delicate pruning and harvesting operations. Fendt became a preferred choice in the Netherlands dairy sector. Dutch dairy farmers, operating on some of the most expensive land in the world, needed maximum efficiency from every piece of equipment. Farmers reported up to 20% improved fuel economy compared to competitive machines while providing the reliability needed for round-the-clock operations during critical periods like silage harvest. Fendt emphasized technical expertise and training alongside conventional dealership criteria. Rather than appointing dealers based solely on sales volume or geographic coverage, Fendt selected partners who understood the technology and could provide expert service. Fendt dealers underwent extensive technical training, learning to diagnose and repair systems that were far more sophisticated than traditional tractors. This created a service network that could keep Fendt tractors operating at peak efficiency throughout their extended service lives. The company's approach to customer feedback was equally measured. Fendt engineers regularly visited farms to observe their machines in operation, identifying opportunities for improvement that wouldn't be apparent in laboratory testing. This field research led to continuous refinements in software calibration, hydraulic response, and operator interface design. Farmers felt like partners in the development process rather than simply customers. By 2010, Fendt had achieved something unprecedented in the tractor industry: premium pricing with increasing market share. While competitors fought price wars that eroded margins, Fendt tractors commanded higher price points. Farmers paid the premium willingly because Fendt tractors delivered measurably better performance and reliability. Fendt's rise revealed something John Deere couldn't ignore. In the high-end, technology-driven market, farmers were prioritizing precision and performance over brand loyalty. In this elite segment, Fendt wasn't just competing, it was setting the pace. John Deere's executives underestimated what Fendt's engineering could achieve when AGCO acquired Fendt in 1997. The German company was successful in Europe, but America was different. American farmers bought American brands, worked larger fields, and valued proven reliability over European sophistication. Fendt might succeed in niche markets, but they would never threaten Deere's dominance in the world's largest agricultural market. They were wrong. Fendt's entry into North America was targeted and strategic. Rather than attempting to compete across all market segments, the company focused on the most demanding applications where technological superiority would be immediately apparent. Large dairy operations, precision farming operations, and custom applicators became early adopters, drawn by Fendt's reputation for efficiency and reliability. The initial test came in Wisconsin's dairy country, where farmers needed tractors that could operate efficiently in confined spaces while handling heavy loads. Fendt's compact designs and superior maneuverability made them ideal for dairy operations, but it was the fuel efficiency that sealed the deal. Wisconsin dairy farmers reported noticeable fuel savings, commonly 15 to 20%, when switching to Vario-equipped models. The Vario transmission proved even more valuable in American conditions than European ones. Large-scale farming operations required tractors to work long hours under different conditions, exactly the scenario where Vario's efficiency advantages were most pronounced. American farmers discovered that Fendt tractors could complete the same work as larger conventional tractors while using significantly less fuel. But it was Fendt's approach to precision agriculture that truly disrupted the American market. Fendt integrated precision systems early, right alongside the GPS and data platforms coming from Deere and Case IH. The difference was how deeply Fendt wired it all into the tractor itself. guidance, implement control, and the Vario drive living in one operator environment instead of a cluster of bolt-on screens. Through integration with systems like section control and task dock, Fendt tractors optimized field operations in real time, adjusting seeding, fertilizer application, and cultivation depth based on field data. This level of integration required years of software development and hardware refinement that competitors couldn't quickly replicate. Vario Guide used RTK GPS correction signals to achieve sub-inch accuracy, allowing farmers to reduce overlap and eliminate gaps in field operations. The system's automatic section control could turn individual nozzles or planter units on and off based on precise field mapping, reducing input costs while improving application uniformity. For large-scale operations, these precision capabilities translated to savings of thousands of dollars per season. American farmers who switched to Fendt reported productivity improvements that seemed almost impossible. Field operations were completed faster with greater precision. Maintenance costs decreased dramatically due to Fendt's superior build quality and diagnostic systems. These weren't marginal improvements, they were game-changing advantages that directly impacted farm profitability. The most compelling testimonials came from custom applicators, farmers who provided services to multiple operations and needed maximum efficiency to remain competitive. Custom applicators switching to Fendt reported that they could complete the same amount of work with fewer tractors, reducing equipment costs while increasing profit margins. John Deere's response revealed how seriously they took the Fendt threat. The company accelerated development of their own continuously variable transmission, invested heavily in precision agriculture technology, and began offering incentives to prevent customers from switching to Fendt. But these reactive measures couldn't overcome Fendt's decade-long head start in transmission technology and integrated precision systems. The most telling indicator of Fendt's impact was the behavior of John Deere dealers. In some premium segments, Deere dealers started seeing something they weren't used to: loyal customers walking in with quotes from Fendt dealers. Every Fendt sale in those circles wasn't just a lost tractor, it was a warning shot at Deere's grip on the high-end market. This erosion of customer exclusivity represented an existential threat to John Deere's distribution-based competitive advantage. By 2020, Fendt had become widely recognized as the benchmark for premium tractor engineering. Among the world's most advanced farmers and agricultural professionals, Fendt had become the gold standard by which all other machines were measured.